Yeah.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first night of the second week, and this is the second forum of that night for the League of Women Voters of St. Lucie County's candidate forums for the 2020 general election. I'm Andy Poley, I'm president of your local League of Women Voters, and I have a few quick announcements before we get started. For starters, mail-in ballots went out last Friday. If you requested yours, you may have already received it. You have the opportunity to request it until the 24th of October. There will be secure drop-off boxes throughout the county, and you can find out where those are by visiting the Supervisor of Elections website, and there's a big list of them. Let's see, early voting starts on October 19th. There'll be 5 locations for early voting, same 5 locations that are available to all voters during the primary election. Election day itself is November 3rd. If you vote on election day, you will have to vote at your specific precinct. To learn more about all of the candidates on your ballots and the 6 amendments that appear on your ballots, including the candidates you hear from this evening, you can visit vote411.org. The questions that you'll hear in this forum differ from the ones that you heard in the last forum with these candidates, and they're different from the ones that you'll find on Vote 411, so you'll know a lot about them by the time you're done. Tonight we're doing our Port St. Lucie City Council night. This is our second forum of this evening. We're about to hear from candidates running for the District 2 seat of the City Council. The format for tonight's forum is the same as all of the other forums: 90-second introduction from each candidate, 2 minutes to answer their series of questions from each candidate, and then a closing statement of 2 minutes. We determined the order of candidates by coin toss earlier, so we're all set and ready to go. This is not a debate, so candidates will make their statements, answer their questions, and we'll move on to the next question or candidate. Candidates will be alerted at 30 seconds remaining and when their time is expired. Our moderator for this forum, as always, is Carol Wyatt. Carol is the co-owner and operator of local radio stations WPSL in Port St. Lucie, WSTU in Stewart, and WJNX in Fort Pierce. Carol is the president of WPSL Christmas Kids of St. Lucie County. She is the past president of the Rotary Club of Port St. Lucie and is a current member of the Port St. Lucie Businesswomen. She has many years in journalism, including as a reporter in Los Angeles, prior to moving to Florida in 1993. We are, as always, honored to have Carol as our moderator. And so now I'm going to flip it over to her. Carol?
Thank you, Andy, and welcome to this, our 8th League of Women Voters of St. Lucie County Candidate Forum for the general election. And certainly we thank the members of the League for developing the questions. We thank the candidates for participating, and we thank you for watching and listening and informing yourselves. So tonight, Port St. Lucie City Council District 2. It's a citywide race. It's for a term of 4 years. It's representing the northwest quadrant of the city, and the current office holder is not running for re-election. So the candidates, John Hawke and David Pickett. Now, by our predetermined coin toss, we will start with opening statements and start with David Pickett.
Thank you, Carol. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for giving me the opportunity to speak here tonight. Like you said, my name is David Pickett, and I'm running for Port St. Lucie City Council District 2. I've been a homeowner and a taxpayer in Port St. Lucie for 29 years. My wife and I have 5 grown children and 3 grandchildren. I know what it's like to have the expenses of home ownership, raising a family, and paying taxes. I know the importance of having good paying jobs and a variety of educational opportunities, including training for trade jobs. I believe I know what's important to most of the citizens of Port St. Lucie, including affordable housing, higher wages, lower taxes, good education, low crime, and recreation opportunities for residents of all ages. As your city councilman, I promise to work hard to help our city not only to continue to offer these things, but to bring more of the same opportunities to the city. I want to make our city the first choice for businesses looking to relocate. I retired from the Army after 32 years of service, and my experience of managing multi-million-dollar budgets and contracts, overseeing large numbers of staff, means I understand the importance of staying on budget and being a leader, but also a team player. My educational background also gives me an advantage as I have real-world experience and a master's degree in emergency management, which will help me when our community is facing an emergency, whether it's a hurricane or pandemic. That's why I believe I'm the best candidate for Port St. Lucie City Council District 2. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And opening statement, John Hawke.
Hello, my name is John Hawke. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I was raised and educated in Maryland, earning a degree in communications. I've been a resident of Port St. Lucie since 2004. I've been visiting Port St. Lucie since the mid-1980s. I've seen it grow from a small town, exit 63C, to the 7th largest city in Florida. I'm an account manager. I've been active in the community. I've been a member of the Friendly Sons and Daughters of Ireland. I volunteered my time on the board at CASTLE, an organization that raises money to help abused and neglected children. I have 2 children of my own, a 13-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son with special needs. I feel Port St. Lucie needs more programs and opportunities for adults and kids with special needs. I'm fair and open-minded to the concerns and opinions of all of the residents of our city. I will use my communication skills, knowledge, and integrity to make Port St. Lucie even better than it already is. My platform is to continue to lower the tax rate, balance the budget, and expand the infrastructure. Keep Port St. Lucie a safe place to live and raise a family. Support local business and continue to look for opportunities to lure large corporations to make Port St. Lucie a home base. I would be honored to have your vote for Port St. Lucie City Council District 2. Thank you.
Okay, and we move now to the first question. We will start with David Pickett. The COVID-19 pandemic is still active, and we're moving toward cold and flu season. If you're elected, you will likely need to make decisions about the health and safety of your constituents. So how do you propose ensuring that all Port St. Lucie citizens are safe, have adequate health care to manage the long-term effects of this health crisis? Mr. Pickett.
Carol, first of all, we have to look at the data that's presented to us. I think the data will drive any future responses that we have. If, for example, like down south in Palm Beach, Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, the number of cases affected people is a lot higher than the cases are in North Florida. So recently, the governor made he did the mask mandate. Open us up to phase 3. But the data doesn't go to show that down in Miami and in those areas, they're ready to go to phase 3. So we have to be conscious of the data and the number of affected cases in our area and make our responses accordingly. We can't just across the board say Port St. Lucie is ready to go to phase 3 if we still have a high number of affected cases. So again, pay attention to the data. Let the data drive your response. Thank you.
Okay, to John Hawke, same question. How do you propose ensuring citizens are safe and have adequate health care to manage the health crisis?
Well, thank you, Carol. And I'm actually going to touch on this again in my closing statement. As Mr. Pickett said, we are in phase 3 now in Florida, but we still must be vigilant, especially with flu season right around the corner. As I also said, I have a child with special needs, so I'm extremely concerned, not to mention Florida's high senior citizen population. So I do believe it is still very important to wear a mask when out in public, social distancing, washing your hands frequently. And if you are sick or not even feeling well, please stay home. We need to get this under control and before it becomes overwhelming to our hospitals and ICUs. Thank you.
Okay, next question. We'll start with Mr. Hawke. As a result of the pandemic, many citizens are now and will continue to face increased financial hardships. This is expected to impact tax revenue. How do you propose addressing more need with less money?
Well, Port St. Lucie recently did pass a budget that was approved by the City Council last night. We do need to be prepared for a possible housing crisis, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. I do see more snowbirds still moving here permanently, I believe, from New York City and other areas up north because of the congestion in larger cities. So they will seek to come here and live full time. At the same time, we have to be concerned about our small businesses. They are the backbone of the city, and they are feeling financial crisis. Some bars, restaurants, where I work over by Met Stadium, otherwise known as Clover Field, and I've seen several restaurants go out of business. TGI Fridays, Friendlies, Ruby Tuesdays. We have to do our best to support local businesses. Thank you.
Okay, same question to David Pickett. How do you propose addressing more need with less money?
One thing that we're experiencing here in Port St. Lucie, we have an increased building over in the over in the Southern Groves area. We have many rooftops going in over there. We have businesses that's coming here, so we're going to get increased revenue coming from those businesses and those homes. But we have to also look at property values. Sooner or later, we've experienced a 9.8% increase in property values over the last couple of years. Sooner or later, that housing rise is going to drop, and revenue is going to come down. So we need to start right now determining what in our budget is extra that we could trim out if we had to once the economic downturn starts happening. So preparing for the worst now will lessen that blow once it starts taking place. And I believe the city has already started doing that. I heard Mr. Blackburn talk about employees that are working from home. They get more productivity from them working at home. So, there's all kinds of things that they could do to start preparing for the economic downturn now that will help us out in the long run. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next question, we'll start with David Pickett. Port St. Lucie is one of the safest cities in Florida. How will you work with police and communities to foster trust, to keep crime low, to continue safety, and develop a more cooperative relationship between officials and the citizens?
Carol, one thing that Port St. Lucie is known for, like you said, is being a safe city. That's much in part due to our officers. But there's a problem that we're experiencing right now. Port St. Lucie's police department is actually short police officers. We have 1.23 officers per 1,000 people when the national average is 2.42 per 1,000 police officers. So we're actually short police officers right now. So we're doing more with less and keeping our citizens safe. So the Port St. Lucie Police Department is doing an excellent job there. One thing we have to look at is as the numbers of people increase in our city, the need for resources, additional officers is going to increase. So we need to keep pace with that. The city just recently adopted District 5 over in the Tradition area, or excuse me, the Tamco Southern Groves area, funding 5 additional police officers there. That's going to help that area out over there. So officers don't have to be pulled from other districts to go police over there. So we need to find additional ways to fund our police department to get them to what the national average is, 2.42 police officers per 1,000 people. Thank you.
Okay, same question, Mr. Hawke. Developing a more cooperative relationship between officials and citizens.
Well, I do feel we have a great relationship with our citizens and the police force. I've been very proud of our city in relation to national events. We have had some peaceful protests, and if you are unhappy with local or national events, you are certainly entitled to your right to protest, but as the key word being peaceful. Mentioned about police officers. In fact, in the new budget, there will be 9 new police officers added to the force, and 1 police officer will be added from the administrative ranks, promoted. So they'll have 10 more coming on next year. I think the police force is doing an excellent job, and I look forward to Port St. Lucie continuing to be one of the safest cities in the United States. Thank you.
Okay, next question, starting with Mr. Hawke. The effects of climate change will affect everyone, but coastal cities will be impacted especially hard. What will you do to reduce Port St. Lucie's carbon footprint and protect its citizens from the effects of climate change?
Well, I think Port St. Lucie should look into solar power. Solar power is the 3rd fastest growing form of energy in the United States. It's way more cost effective now to implement than it used to be years ago. And I think us being the Sunshine State, it's very important to not only look at that, but continue to work with our effective solid waste system, encouraging recycling, get trash out of the landfills, and of course our waterways, continue to encourage residents to transfer over from wells to city water, which is much more cleaner and much better for the environment. Thank you.
Okay, same question to Mr. Pickett, protecting citizens from the effects of climate change.
One good way, it's already started. You see it every day. I see it driving up down the interstate all the time. There's a lot more battery operated cars that's being used nowadays. Port St. Lucie just put in, or they're putting in a charging station out at Gatlin. You see the Wawas have charging stations. Walmart has charging stations. There's even a charging station at the Clerk of Court in St. Lucie West. So there's charging stations all over the place to entice people to go to that sort of a automobile. Recycling, like Mr. Hawke said, is an excellent opportunity for us to cut down on waste. And then solar power also is another good thing. One problem that we have in the city is they have, there's 5,000, let me see what it was. 4,600 people still on septic tanks that live along the river that help pollute our river. So we need to do a better job to get those people converted over to city septic to keep wastewater from going into our rivers. Thank you.
Okay, next question. We'll start with David Pickett. Incorporated in 1961, Port St. Lucie is a relatively new city. Emerging cities have better opportunity to grow and develop with newer technologies and better infrastructure. What cutting-edge building and planning practices do you feel should be used in Port St. Lucie?
One thing they're doing now, they have the building department, they implemented the drive-through code thing, or what is it called? Permitting, I'm sorry. Couldn't think of the name of it. Drive-through permitting. That right there was, I think, if I remember right, it was the first in the country. So that saves a citizen a lot of time where they don't have to get out of the car, they don't have to go inside. It saves, they have online permitting for the contractors. So it saves the contractors time from having to come down to City Hall, stand in line with the other contractors, waste their time. They're doing remote, now with the COVID, they're doing remote. I seen them the other day down the street, checking out the building, the home down the street remotely they're using a drone. So there's all kinds of ways like that we can implement to help us out. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hawke, cutting edge building and planning practices that should be used in Port St. Lucie.
Yes, Mr. Pickett is correct. They have started implementing drones to go out to the area and scout them ahead of time. It cuts down on travel time for the building permit technicians have to take a truck, drive all the way around, circle areas, fight through traffic. You know, there's a lot of streets, of course, with our canals and bridges that are not directly accessible. So that keeps them off the road, stops traffic congestion and manpower hours, as well as virtual reality. They're able to go on and approve permits online, and you know, they don't actually have to show up into that location. Thank you.
Okay, next question, Mr. Hawke. Port St. Lucie's population has crossed the 200,000 mark, according to estimates by the U.S. Census. So do you support policies that restrict continued, actually, we should emphasize restrict continued population growth?
Well, no, I would never restrict population growth. We want those impact fees and building permits, and the city relies on those. I think, you know, people, every year that I've lived here, the population has increased. When I ran for city council 10 years ago, we've added 40,000 people since the last time. So I just think, you know, this is the last few days to finish out your census. I would not be surprised if Port St. Lucie moves up to number 6 or number 5. People have heard about what a great thriving city it's, you know, growing into. Safety, and it's very geographically desirable. We're about 3 hours away from Miami, 3 hours away from Tampa, 2 hours away from Orlando. It's a great place to live, and we're going to work and build to have it be a great place to work as well. Thank you.
Okay, same question. David Pickett, do you support policies that restrict continued population growth?
No, Carol, I don't. I moved here in '92. I come down to visit my mother when I was on leave from Korea, and I fell in love with the area immediately. And when we first moved here, there was probably, I think there was like 40,000 people that lived here. Wasn't a lot of people. It was a lot of trees. The thing that attracted me was the geographical location. I could live in a small town, raise my family in a small town, and if I wanted to go to Orlando, jump on the turnpike, hour and a half, I'm there. If I want to go to Miami, same thing, jump on 95, hour and a half, I'm there. So why would I want to restrict anybody coming here that enjoys the same things as I do? You know, the sunshine, being outdoors, going fishing, going to the beach. Port St. Lucie is a very, very diverse city. One thing I've learned from walking around, talking to the residents as I was getting my petition signed was that we have people that live in Port St. Lucie from all over the world. I'm talking about all over the world. I've met people from Germany, Italy, Argentina, Spain. I mean, you name it, and there's people from Port St. Lucie, Jamaica, that live here in Port St. Lucie, and I ask them, you know, where they come from and why they moved here, and everybody moved here for the same reason. They liked what Port St. Lucie had to offer. And I think that's great. So you get people that are moving here with the same mindset. It's only going to make our city even better. Thank you.
Okay, next question, starting with David Pickett. Assuming that some growth is inevitable, how will you ensure that the environment is protected while new structures are built?
We have things already in place. DEP they have laws and stuff that's in place. There's ordinances and stuff that's in place to make sure that, for example, if you go to build on a place that has the turtles, you have to relocate the turtles. You can't just go and just tear down mow down the property and commence your building. So making sure that our environment is protected is something that's very, very important to me, because I love Port St. Lucie. I love everything it has to offer, and I don't want to see things ruined. You're going to have with growth. There's going to be some impact to the environment, but the more that we do as leaders to lessen that impact, the better off we are, and the better we are being to be good stewards of the environment for future generations. I know that when they do their master planning, they always have landscaping things. So the council and the city is already very well in tune to making sure that we replenish the environment as we are moving forward, making progress. Thank you.
Okay, same question to Mr. Hawke. Protecting the environment while new structures are built.
Well, that's correct. It's growth is important, but responsible growth is even more important. Keep Florida Beautiful, Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful program. The city of Port St. Lucie just recently got a $200,000 grant from the state of Florida. We need to work with the resources that we have. We're going to be expanding Floresta Drive, making that much larger. They're going to be improving the area where people are calling a confusion corner, where Floresta meets Crosstown Parkway. All these infrastructure improvements, adding streetlights, sidewalks. It's very important that we study the plans and the city council to make good, fair, and responsible decisions to not only improve Florida, but improve it in an environmentally sound way. Thank you.
Okay, next question, starting with Mr. Hawke. What do you feel city officials can do to make Port St. Lucie more appealing to businesses with high-paying jobs that are looking to expand or to relocate?
Well, we need to take advantage of the expansion to Southern Grove, but at the same time, we can't give away property. Last night, the city council was dealing with a decision a previous council had made regarding white aluminum. They basically bought the property from the city for like $10 or something like that, a square footer. And, you know, they gave it to them as on a song with the promise that they were going to develop it. Well, then the recession happened and they weren't able to. So now we're just approved to sell it to Total Truck Parts. Well, I mean, I think it was a good decision because you don't want something just sitting there. I mean, a lot of people have complained about the Mid-Florida Event Center. We have to work with that. We have to make it better. We're going to work through these COVID struggles and, you know, improve it once we get past that. The same thing with the Saints Golf Course. We just can't give up on city-owned properties. And once the other big, large corporations from other areas see us conscientiously working with our own existing properties, I feel they will come here and take advantage of all of the positive aspects that Port St. Lucie has to offer. Thank you.
Same question to Mr. Pickett, appealing to businesses with high-paying jobs looking to relocate.
Mr. Hawke had one thing right about they did give the thing to Total Truck Part last night, but the city was kind of in a vicarious situation. If they were only collecting $18,500 in tax money off that property, sitting as dirt. Now, they let Total Truck come in there. Yes, they did. White Aluminum did sell the Total Truck and make some money off of it, but originally, the original deal, the city was only going to get $50,000 off a property they sold for $10. They renegotiated and they actually made $108,000 off that property. So now they approved the way for Total Truck to come in there, and they're going to bring in, eventually they're going to bring their headquarters here, and they're building a $6 million building, which is money to Port St. Lucie, tax revenue. They're putting 10 jobs in there at $63,000 a person, tax revenue to Port St. Lucie. Another thing we have to look at, we have the bioscience industry over there in Southern Groves. If we market that right, we could set that up and get that set up similar to what Duke University has up there, and Indiana University has the same thing in Indianapolis. They have a bio research corridor there, and it as being going back and forth to Indiana to visit my kids over the years. I've watched that grow from basically what we have out here in Southern Groves to where it's a very lucrative, it's almost its own little community. So we can use businesses that's already out there, anchor businesses, Tamco, to bring other businesses to Port St. Lucie. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next question, starting with David Pickett. What do you think needs to be done to fulfill the promises made about the undeveloped land of City Center east of US 1?
Carol, there's one thing that I talked about, and this whole time I've been campaigning. My campaign was founded on, and I've talked about it this whole 11 months, is economic development. Now, with the completion of Crosstown Bridge, we have a prime opportunity on the eastern side of our city for redevelopment on that side of the city, bringing jobs, retail to the residents and other amenities to the residents on that side of the city. So that's something that the City Council needs to address with the Economic Development Council, the County Economic Development Council. Let's not lose sight of, we have a great opportunity out on the western side of the city in Southern Groves, but we also have a golden opportunity on the eastern side of the city to revitalize that area and bring more jobs to the city and bring more amenities and restaurants to the citizens that live on that side of the city. And that will just enhance Port St. Lucie. So we have, everything's not clustered in one or two spots. It's spread out all over the city. Thank you.
Okay, same question to Mr. Hawke. What needs to be done to fulfill the promises of City Center east of US 1?
Well, it is correct. It is all based on the Mid-Florida Event Center, aka the Civic Center. It was built with the intention of making it Port St. Lucie's downtown. Now, I don't want to call it a failure. It just hasn't maximized its potential yet. Now, it has been a setback due to COVID-19, but with the Crosstown Parkway expansion, connecting it to there, I have some friends and small business along there that since before COVID happened and the expansion to Crosstown Parkway, their business had improved. Traffic congestion was alleviated, and we've just now crossed the 1-year anniversary of Crosstown Parkway. Now, as we go into 2021, which will be Port St. Lucie's 60th anniversary, if we are able to get past the challenges of COVID and look at other ways to expand the Mid-Florida Event Center. They had a great, very successful Styx concert earlier in this year, and they had a Little River Band concert that was scheduled to be held in November. Unfortunately, it was canceled due to COVID, but it would be a great idea to lure people here. How many times, if you want to see a concert event, you have to go to West Palm? Well, the council and the city had a good idea. And I think just once time will tell, we'll be able to make this work. Thank you.
Okay, we have come to the end of our questions, so I believe we move on to closing statements, and we begin with Mr. Hawke.
All right, well, thank you, Carol and Andy and Ms. Roberts and the members of the League of Women Voters for giving me this opportunity to speak to concerned voters who wish to be informed. When I attended the City Council meeting last night, I was pleased that despite Florida as a state moving into phase 3, they realized that COVID-19 has not gone away and urged us to still be cautious and practice social distancing, wearing masks and staying home if you're sick. Also, they work together to form a balanced budget that is only one small portion of a city resident's. It is this seamless cooperation that I see myself joining. I feel that Port St. Lucie is moving forward in a positive direction, and I see myself as the missing piece to keep it in that direction. I offer fair and honest leadership. I'm middle class, hardworking, and represent a part of the population currently not present on the City Council. I believe in a grassroots approach to reach the people and let them know that no matter their political party, their opinion matters to me. I do not accept special interest donations and embrace the opportunity to work to improve Port St. Lucie as a job base by bringing in new businesses while protecting the small business owners who have been here for years. Public safety, new opportunities for adults and children with special needs, and environmental concerns will always be at the forefront of my mind if I am elected to the council. Even though this is a nonpartisan position, it is no secret that my opponent is a Republican and I am a Democrat. If you give me the honor of voting for me during early voting and on November 3rd, I will work hard for the residents of Port St. Lucie, no matter what party you belong to. You are entirely entitled to your own opinion, and I hope you decide to vote for me, John Hawke, for Port St. Lucie City Council, District 2. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And now a closing statement, David Pickett.
So much for keeping it nonpartisan. Yeah, thank you, Carol. I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. I've been preparing for this campaign for more than a year. I watched our city council meetings either in person or on TV. I've talked to other council members, St. Lucie County commissioners, and other local leaders, all in an attempt to be the most educated candidate. I had 1,500 petitions signed I've had 1,500 petitions signed to earn my right to be a candidate. Sure, I could have paid to have my name put on the ballot, but instead, I wanted to be sure that I had the support of you, our residents. I've knocked on over 7,000 doors, met more than 10,000 residents, and listened to their concerns, needs, and hopes for our city. I've learned what challenges our community faces and what opportunities we have. I've educated myself on the city's budget, our growing pains, our mistakes, and our successes. If I've worked this hard just to get elected, imagine how hard I work for you once elected. I'm not an 11th hour candidate. I love this city, and after serving my country for 32 years, I want to serve my community. And I'll bring forth that same dedication working for our residents as I did serving in the military. I don't believe in making campaign promises that cannot be carried out, but I promise you this, if elected, I'll be a full-time council member devoting all my time and resources to the needs of the residents of Port St. Lucie. I'll make myself available to you, our residents, when you need me. And I'll remember all the things that you told me when I knocked on your doors. I'm a listener, a problem solver, and a team player. I've been fortunate to have received the endorsements of the local Realtors Association, the Chamber of Commerce PAC, the Police Sergeants Union, as well as the recommendation of the TC POM. They have the belief that I'm the best candidate, and I have that same belief, and I'm asking you to do as well. I'm David Pickett, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 3rd. Please visit my website, votedavidpickett.com. Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for allowing me this opportunity this evening. Thank you.
And thank you to David Pickett and John Hawke, the candidates for Port St. Lucie City Council District 2. Thank you for being with us, and certainly thank everyone who has listened and watched tonight to make sure that you know are your candidates and to be informed for the general election. And thanks also to the members of the League of Women Voters for coming up with our questions this evening. Andy?
Thank you, Carol, and thank you, candidates, and thank you for everyone who is viewing this video. We apologize for the Facebook Live kind of catastrophe that we came in contact with this evening, but we're glad that you were able to view it on YouTube and however else you were able to view it. Thank you to our members that I can't ever thank enough for their dedication to informing the voters. The voters are our clients, and their education is the most important part. So thank you to the members of the League of Women Voters as well. Again, thank you, Carol. Thank you, candidates. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, voters. Don't forget to do your census. You have about 24 hours to pull that together. And early voting starts October 19th. Get your mail-in ballots back, or you can vote on November 3rd. And visit vote411.org to learn more about the 6 amendments. Or you can come to one of our virtual events. Just check our Facebook page or our website to learn more. Thank you, and don't forget to vote.